Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to our subscriber game tournament as we continue round 1 with match 11 between Vietsmasher on the green side versus Kingslayer on the red side. But before we jump into the drafting analysis here, it's regrettable to announce that this is our only match in the first round that had to end in a forfeit, as there was internet connection issues between these two players, and as you can note from the unit, they were actually trying to play it on a small unit size with only 10 units per cavalry and 40 units per infantry to try to potentially fix any sort of lag, but it didn't work, and one of the players basically decided to surrender the round and accepted the result despite what's going to happen in the battle. But luckily we still have footage of the battle that they did play, or at least part of it, before it got too bad. So we'll still take a look at things, and it's always interesting to see the draft that players come up with for these type of multiplayer fights. So looking at the green side first for Vietsmasher, we have an army led by Yuan Shao, Ma Chao, and Zheng Jiang for all cavalry army, mainly a mixture of northern cavalry units between shock and melee, half-half split, everyone's rank 3. Then Ma Chao's leading 6 Tiang hunters for the maximum amount of harassment. So as long as you can micro these units well, and the longer the battle goes, the better they will be. Finally, Zheng Jiang will have no retinue as all the money is spent to upgrade these units. Tiang hunters are rank 4. It's interesting to see what level the generals will be. And then looking at the right side, we have Kingslayer with Yan Baihu leading the army with Ma Chao and Guan Yu. Now as a side note, if you are playing multiplayer battles yourself in the future, it is a good habit to never make Yan Baihu your leading general, because when you load into a game, you don't actually see what's on the screen here. You actually only see the small circle plus the number of units up above. So essentially, only the commanding general and the number of troops are given over to your enemy as information before the deployment phase actually ends. So in that case, you don't want to lead with your invisible general and retinue. That way you are basically telling the other side, I have invisible units on the map that you should be watching out for. For example, if he was leading with Ma Chao, you wouldn't know Yan Baihu was in the game unless you had some sort of forest spotting, or unless he opened up his poison volley at your unit. So having Yan Baihu lead is never a good thing. He is running 2 melee infantry options with the Jian Sword Guard. Not the greatest unit in the game. They are leveled up to tier 2. They might do a bit better under Yan Baihu because all units will do slightly better with stock, but looking at the army composition on the left, there's just not really a role for them. And even if the left side was running heavy infantry, I don't think this unit, given its cost, is the best option to go here. Yan Baihu has quite a few interesting unique units in the axe wielding as well as the double sword wielding White Tiger variant, White Tiger Warriors, and the Yue Remnant Warriors as pretty decent melee infantry options to use with his stock. But we have Kingslayer going with the Jian Sword Guard. Then Ma Chao on this side, mirroring the left side with 4 Tiang Hunters, but a small change with 2 units of the Tiang Marauder as shock cavalry. It's not a bad choice. You need something to kill generals, and this is definitely the way to go here. Finally, Guan Yu close out the ranks with 4 heavy spear guards as a counter cavalry measure. Not a bad idea. So overall, pretty balanced composition on the right and an all cavalry composition on the left. So let's see how things play out and jump into game here. Alrighty, so as we load into game here, we're going to take the top-down view and also pause the game, and right away we can see guerrilla deployments doing a few things. Ma Chao is guerrilla deployed into the middle of the map, whereas the red side, led by Kingslayer's force, has guerrilla deployed his entire army into the middle of the map, and you could actually overlap units during guerrilla deployment during the deployment phase because it's done blind for both sides, which is what's happening here. Ma Chao is deep inside enemy line, very, very deep. The icon looked like he was here, but if you look at the unit, this is basically as much overlap as you can get. And then looking at the rest of his Qiang units, they are led by Zheng Jiang on the left flank, and perhaps they're going to try to come help, but you can see as I pause it with 1 second in, the auto fire is ready targeting Ma Chao as he was not grillo deployed into a forest area, so he's wide open. He's rank 3. Zheng Jiang's also rank 3. And Yuan Shao's also rank 3. He's leading the rest of the cavalry force right here. Looking at Kingslayer's army, it's rank 3 all around except for Guan Yu, rank 2. Interesting. So he's going to be missing God of War as well as his weapon. And if you look at the fall off in terms of weapon damage, it's massive. Sea of the Imperial Guard. The number looks very small because remember, this is a small unit size. So the weapon damage of generals will scale down, as will ability damage. It's 1/3 of the base game. So think of this as 1k 1k for the large unit size that I'm familiar with. It is still rather small on paper. And he's going to have less health. So Guan Yu is going to be a little bit weaker. But Yan Baihu is still rank 3, and Ma Chao is also tier 3. So we have a pretty decent mirror matchup over here, and there's not too much to say aside from this overlap, which is going to be quite interesting to see how things play out. So we might unpause right here and see how Ma Chao handles it. Getting shot. These archer shots are not going to really hurt you, so it's fine. A duel has been rejected, so he tried to duel at the beginning. Now he's just got to try to run. He's going to hunt after some of those cavalry. And I wonder if he's getting his, yes, he's getting his cavalry to move up, at least the Qiang variants to kind of close the rank here, exchanging fires as they go. Not using these yet, that's fine. Maybe just a micro limitation here, and plus the lag that I mentioned. Ooh, they're able to lose quite a bit of morale. They're not under the effect of the roar, so he has not roared, but we have a Ma Chao versus Ma Chao duel, which is basically going to be all luck. Oh, Zheng Jiang versus Yan Baihu duel as well. So this one's going to be just coin flip, who gets the hits first. This one should be heavily in Yan Baihu's favor, actually, given the high melee evasion, which is a very crucial stat for dueling, because if you can't hit them, then you can't do anything. So they are both killing each other at the same rate here. Close enough. I want to say, okay, so if you look at the health, looks like Kingslayer's is slightly ahead. Just got hit by ability, got it closer. Yeah, Zheng Jiang's just getting hit and not hitting back, that's the thing. Oh, it's pulling away. Vietsmasher is doing much more damage in that last couple seconds right there, which is complete luck. There's no difference between these two generals. It's not as though we are playing in campaign where the AI on harder difficulties get hidden stat buffs. So it was super close, and just happens that Vietsmasher's Ma Chao won out for that battle. He will heal a little bit for winning the duel, and now Guan Yu is on top of him. We're not even looking at the other battle, but Zheng Jiang's pretty much dead. They are trading fires. Yuan Shao has finally joined the fight. He probably could have helped a bit more with some melee evasion boost for his generals in duels. But Ma Chao came out alright, and now he's routing these Qiang hunters by himself. Given that there's only 10 unit, the generals become much more powerful on lower unit size. And Yan Baihu killed her without losing any health, basically. He spared her out of kindness. Or perhaps she was retreated, but then the arrow found her. She had 1 health. So 1 arrow just killed her. Actually, no. How did she die? Because these are friendly arrows, unless it was a friendly arrow shot. They were trying to shoot at Yan Baihu and they killed her. Yeah, she had 1 health. Well, no surprise that Ma Chao is wounded and getting chased off. Yan Baihu is trying to do his best to stop these from firing, and Yuan Shao is coming to answer. And the rest of the cavalry is joining in to charge at the Qiang hunters to reinforce them. So all they have to do is kind of chase away Yan Baihu right here, because the rest of these infantry can't really join the fight if they just keep kiting. And these have already been shattered. So things look pretty decent for Vietsmasher here, aside from the extra 1 general that was lost, and unfortunately that's the end of the battle, as in this case, Kingslayer actually surrendered. So I think he was the one having lag issues, and he mentioned it to me. I emailed both of them to make sure that this was indeed the result, and they both accepted the surrender terms. And congratulations to Vietsmasher to moving on. We can take a look at the post-battle. Not going to be a lot of casualties. And look at the numbers here. Because they were playing on small unit size, you can see Ma Chao killed 4 people. From the exchange of arrows, most of the arrows will miss because there's not that many units to hit, and each of them have much higher health than the base game. So you basically have 1 kill. 5 kills here did the job. They only killed 3. So it was a fair surrender, even though one of these kills was a general. It's kind of losing 2 generals here for only Ma Chao. But thinking that the cavalry was in the position, I think even if this battle played out, I think it would have been close, because it would have been hard to kill these units off because they could just turtle up. And even all these cavalries have routed. These are kind of free. I assume the shot cavalry could chase down and kill Guan Yu, who's only tier 2, and if they stay on Yan Baihu, he shouldn't be too difficult to kill either with cavalry. And then it's just a slow grind using all these units to kill off these spear guards, with only Yuan Shao, who doesn't have a smash ability, so it could be close. Maybe these spear guards would be able to turtle up quite nicely and withstand the fire from the range. Basically, Tail Hunters can't really hurt them if they turtle up, and then the cavalry would have quite a hard time finding a gap to charge them as well. So who knows? Who knows what the result would have been? But what we do know is that Kingslayer has surrendered, so congratulations to Vietsmasher moving on to round 2, and hopefully if we do get a chance to participate again, Kingslayer could have an opponent that wouldn't cause him to have that much lag. I think it does have to do with how far away you are from your opponent, and sometimes we just can't help it with matchups to get 2 people from the same place with the same time who can schedule a game. But regardless, hopefully you guys enjoy this match, and we have one more today, so let's go to that one. Bye!